Hey everybody, welcome to Jasco Goods YouTube. Today I'm going to show you how to make these Christmas gift blocks out of some 4x4s and some ribbon. They're a really easy beginner project that anybody can do. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is get yourself a 4x4 post. I got this one from Home Depot. I figured that's where most people will be getting theirs from. This one cost me about $16. I'm sorry, about $14. They were about $16 a few months ago. They're coming down a little bit now. Before the pandemic, they were around $8. So they went up quite a bit. But out of one of these, you should be able to build 5 of these sets of gifts. So just out of one 8-foot 4x4. So what you want to look for is, you just want to look at the pattern, the grain. Generally 4x4s are a little bit rough. They have a rough texture to them. If you're going to be hand sanding, you might want to look at how rough of a piece you're getting. You see this one's pretty rough right here. If I was to be hand sanding this, I might want to look a little harder for a smoother piece. Okay, another thing about 4x4s is the end grain. This is a typical end grain. It's just these stripes like this. Now, if you want to get a little fancier, they have a circular type end grain that looks pretty cool. Another thing is that 4x4s are not very square. You'll really notice it here when you put it in your saw. When you put it in your saw, you can see there's a gap, and that's because this 4x4 is not very square. And if you're selling these on Etsy, you want to make sure you say that, because I've seen people complain about other people's 4x4s that they're selling that it wasn't square. But I mean, that's just how they come. For what we're doing with this, a present, it doesn't have to be square. Okay, so these are the 3 sizes you're going to need. 4x4s are actually not 4 inches. As you know, lumber is not as big as it's called. So it's about 3.5 inches, or they'll say like 3 3/8, but it's about 3.5 inches. So your first one is a square, and it's going to be 3.5 by 3.5. Your second one is a little bit longer. It's going to be 3.5 wide by 5 1/4 tall. That's this size plus a half. And then your last one is going to be double this size. It's going to be 7 inches. I'm going to sand them with 80 grit to start because of how rough they start off. And then I'm going to finish it with a 150. I'm not going to go up any higher than that, because I like when you leave it a little bit less sanded, not as smooth, the stain is darker. So I like the darker green. I'm going to use my belt sander. You can do it by hand if you want. It's going to take a long time. You don't have to sand it. I see people sell stuff all the time on Etsy, like straight just cut it and stain it. They don't sand it at all. I like when something's sanded smooth. I like the way it comes out. Your stain is much more consistent. It's not as blotchy. It comes out very consistent because you've got an even surface. You don't have a bunch of dings and different grain patterns in there. You know, you've evened it out. Even if you do a rough sanding and you only sand it to 150, you've still evened it out, and you'll get an even darkness. Where when you don't sand it, this wood gets dinged up, it gets hit with stuff, and then when you stain it, it comes out all blotchy. So, make a long story short, I'm gonna sand mine with 80 grit, then 150. I use my belt sander. I'm gonna show it to you right now. This is my belt sander. I've talked about it in other videos. If you do a lot of small stuff like this, this belt sander is a lifesaver. It saves you so much time. Well, maybe not lifesaver, but at least a time saver. This one cost me $119. It's a Wen. That's like the new Ryobi. Back when Ryobi first started, it was like the cheap, not knockoff, but it was like the cheaper. This is Wen. Wen is like a new line. You can get it at Home Depot. You can get it on Amazon. It's $119 at both. You can get the same exact sander, almost the same exact sander, in different, I'm going to do a review on these, in different models. They have a Ryobi one, but that's like $179. They actually have some even more no-name brands on Amazon that I've never heard of before. That I think the cheapest one I saw in there was $99. I haven't tried them yet, so I can't tell you how this works, but I know for $119, this Wen works very well. Okay, so these are the 3 stains I use. These 2 are a water base. You have them mixed for you at Home Depot. This one used to be carried at Home Depot. They don't sell Varathane anymore at Home Depot. You can get it on the Home Depot website. It's the same price, but they make you buy 2 cans instead now of any Varathane. Yeah, it comes in a 2-pack. Or you can get it off of Amazon. I don't know about this particular color, but other Varathane colors I found on Amazon, but they're a lot more money. They're like double the price. So like I said, these 2 are a water base. This is not a water base, but this works really good. This is a Barn Red. This one is called Hunter Green. And then this one, I don't know the color. They didn't put a sticker on it, but it's just the white. I was looking for a white wash, and they sell other white washes, but this one comes out like a bright white. All the other ones have like a yellowish tint to it. This one, it comes out a much brighter white, and I'll show you right now. I'm going to do a couple white ones. Okay, so I got these 2 I'm going to do white. I know I said I'm going to do this one a different color, but this is for a different set. I'm going to do a set so I could show you 3 just square ones, and then this will be the part of the other set where it is tiered up. And then I got some trees I got to do. You don't have to watch me do these trees, but these are the trees that I've showed you guys how to do. I got another video on how to build these. I got a couple here that I got to do white. So yeah, this white, I do it twice. I do 2 coats of it, and it comes out really nice and white, like a bright white. But now if you clear coat this, and you clear coat this white, you got to watch what clear coat you use, because I have a Bear clear coat that I use, and it makes it have like a yellow off-white tint. So you kind of defeat the purpose of using this and then doing the Bear off-white, or the Bear clear coat. I use a water-based clear coat always, just because, and I use a flat. If you want to be glossy, you can get a gloss clear coat. I just like the matte look. It still has a bit of a sheen to it, but it doesn't. It's just easier to use. The really glossy stuff sometimes is hard to use, so I just do a coat over it. Now these water bases you gotta be quick with. They dry pretty fast, so I do a quick coat. Then I get my Walmart rags. Get these rags from Walmart. Now you'll see the first coat, you're barely gonna be able to tell that I did anything. And if you want it even darker, you can go over it again. This is the first coat. I get these rags from Walmart. They work pretty good for this kind of, for just wiping off stain. Now you can see there's a difference. You can see the whiteness. I hope it shows up and it's not too glared. And then here's the part that I haven't done. So by the time I get to the second coat, it looks a lot better. A lot of 4x4s you get have a reddish tone to them. You can see how red this is compared to the trees. So it doesn't come out as white as the trees will, but you could still get it pretty white. The redder tones look good if you're doing like a dark walnut. I think to me it seems like the redder tones have more moisture in the wood, and they seem to stain better with a lot of the oil stains. And you can leave it on a few more minutes. I get leery because this stuff dries so fast, but I'm out here in the desert and everything dries really fast out here. They give you a time to leave stuff on for like 5 minutes, and that's impossible out here. You can't leave anything on for 5 minutes. And it's even the winter time. It's 66 degrees in my garage right now. Or garage / workshop. And but the humidity is only 19%, which is actually a little bit high. So you can see the whiteness in there. There's another side without it. The green is really hard to use. I have another video where I stain some trees with green that I give you a lot of tips on how to work with the green. The green You got to really wipe off fast. It's really hard to work with. It dries so fast. This white is a little bit more forgiving. I don't know what the difference is between this and the green, but the green has just always been hard for me to work with. I love the color that it makes, but it's really hard to work with because it dries so fast. So I like to keep it moving and move it around a lot, so it doesn't have a chance to dry, but it has a chance to absorb into the wood. Now the second coat, for some reason, it comes out a lot whiter. And if I have to on this red, I'll even do a third coat if I have to. What's nice about these water-based and the way they dry so fast is you can just keep, you can do another coat like immediately. Okay, so I did a second coat on that side. You can tell the difference. See how much whiter it came? And if you want, you can do a third coat. I think I'm going to stop at 2 coats. Okay, so I ended up doing 3 coats on the white ones. I think it's because I did them with these white trees, and I don't know if you can see the difference now. But this wood, like I said before, it comes out a lot whiter. You can still see a little bit of the reddish tone in this. I purposely pick wood that'll look good with the white when I do these, but I didn't really have a choice with the 4x4s because most of them are just reddish tinted anyways, but that's them. Bow. You can see the difference. But yeah, so I ended up doing 3 coats. So these are those rags I said I get at not Home Depot, Walmart. I don't remember the price. I think they're less than $5, but you get 12 of them in here. I cut them into quarters. So 4 times 12 is what? 12, 24, 48? 48 little rags out of them. So here's this red I was telling you about. This is the barn red. I always stain like this, going this way. I try not to start at the end and come up so I get drips underneath. So this red should be a 1 coater. Look at that red. And then wipe it off. I'm not going to do the whole thing for you. Just wanted to show you guys what this red looked like. I usually do the first wipe fairly quickly. Look at that. Bam. Some of them try to stain, but they can't stain like this. See that? So yeah, that's the red. Howdy, y'all. Welcome back. Wish I had an accent like that. It would make me seem more legitimate. Alright, so this is them when they're done. Here's the 3 colors. Green, white, red. You can do them in any order you want. My boss / wife suggested I make the white one in the middle. She's the one that suggested this. Now, like I said, if you don't want this size, if you don't want to have them tiered and even out the colors, you can do this. And you can have 3 square gifts. It's whatever you want. So that's why I was making the extra ones. So you can do it just like that. You can stack them if you want. And then, if you want, you can switch one out. I have this one for the 4th of July. Yeah. Wouldn't go with the wrapping paper stuff, but you could do, something else like this. I was going to drill holes in the top, but I didn't have a Forstner bit big enough. I wanted to make an indentation to put a candle in so it could look like a wrap present with a candle in the top. Whenever I'm making anything, I'm like, should I do this? Should I do that? I like to see. I wanted to see how they looked all even, so I made 2 extra ones just to see how it looked. Yeah, so now I'm going to clear coat it. I'm going to clear coat the colored ones with this this one right here. It's a water-based finish. I buy it in the big gallons and then I put it in these little containers. I got a little video on clear coating that you can watch if you want to know why. I just do it so it doesn't gum up the big can. I don't know if you can see it in the, it has a yellow tint to it. So if I put it on the white, after a few layers, it has an off-white tint. It changes the white. I said that earlier. This is what I use on the white. I like the Bear one better, but this Varathane water-based. This is also matte. It's a bright white. I got another video on how to make these. you don't even have to clear coat them. If you wanted to leave it just like this, you could, you know. I like to clear coat it because it's almost like an Armor All. I don't know if you ever Armor All the tire, how it brings out the color. It sort of does that. When you clear coat these colored ones, it brings out the color and also protects it. If you want to wipe it off, the gloss, sometimes you can see brush strokes unless you spray it. It's not as forgiving when you use the gloss. It shows all the imperfections where the matte doesn't do that. Another thing I like about the water-based is it dries really fast. So I could do a coat. I can do a coat in an hour. I can do another coat. And with the oil-based, sometimes you have to let it dry overnight. And the only downside with the water-based is if you're using it over an oil-based, even though the oil-based stain will say you can clear coat it in 2 hours, it will sometimes not work. Now, I don't know if you can see how that kind of brought out the colors. And like for something like this where I have to clear coat every side, if I did oil, I mean, I'd have to wait hours to be able to do the next side for it to sit on and dry. I'd actually put a screw in the top so I could hold the screw, and I was able to clear coat and stain the whole thing. So if you need any tips for clear coating, I have a little video on it. I'm going to do an actually more detailed video on it, but you just want to keep it wet, keep it moving. If it starts to feel tacky, don't keep brushing it over. So that's it. That one's done. All right, so I got them clear coated. Take a look at them. You can see there's a little bit of a sheen to it. That's the knot in the red one. Now, if you don't want knots, don't do one with a knot in it. I don't really care because I'm just going to turn it this way. Turn the knot to the back. Yeah, I did one coat. And when you do one coat of clear coat, it actually makes it feel rougher than if you didn't do any. And that sounds counterintuitive. Or you probably wondering, well, why would you even do it? Because the first coat you put on, it wets the wood fibers and they kind of stand up and swell up. And so it makes it rough. Sorry I was rubbing that so much. I didn't mean to be. I don't know if that was. Yeah, it makes it rough and they stand up. So you want to hit them down with the sandpaper. And then after the second coat, you're going to have a nice, smooth, sexy finish. I use 400 grit. You can use 400 and plus. You could go up to 600. You just got to be careful when you're sanding them. You really just gotta kiss them. You don't really need to do a whole lot. And I don't know if you can see that finish on there. It looks really nice. When you sand it, it's gonna make it look scratched and powdery. And you're gonna be like, oh, what did I do? But when you go with another coat, it takes all that away. You want to be careful when you're sanding the clear coat on your edges. That's where you don't want to go down to the stain and take the stain away and expose wood, or maybe you do, but you can do 2 coats of clear coat if you want before you do the sanding. If you want to do that, the one I'm using, I think it said it takes 2 hours between coats. If not, I usually do one, then I do the sanding, because once you do that first sanding and you knock down, it feels so much different. I don't know if you can hear this. We'll do a little ASMR, and then here's this one. You can really feel the difference, and that's all it takes. You're just knocking it down a little. Just like that. I'm barely putting any pressure. This actually looks like a watermelon to me. Get my edge real easy, like barely touch it. I mean, you don't have to do much, and it comes off. That's it. Just be careful of the edges. This is a pretty simple, and then wipe it down. You don't want to clear coat over all that dust. So just wipe it down with a cloth. At least get 2 coats on there. The manufacturer of the clear coat recommends 3. I don't know if that looks cheesy to you. All right, now let's put some ribbon on these. I'm going to use this one. Got it off of Amazon. It's like a plaid, and it's got green, white, and red in it. It's a little bit of an off-white, so it's going to stand out a little bit more. You can use any one you want, obviously. I got this one from Walmart. A lot of times I get these afterwards, which looks pretty good too, but it's got the wire in here, so it's going to be hard to get it to sit flat. I also have this thin stuff if you want something skinnier. look good on the white, but then I'd have to use something different, I think, on the red. Here's a black one, like the buffalo print. Anyways, I think this would even look good on the white, but I'm not sure on like the red. Even the green, it would look good. Anyways, I'm going to use this one. And another thing you could do is get yourself some vinyl. And they have like Christmas print vinyl, like Christmas plaid vinyl. They sell it by the sheet, I think at Michael's, even I think Walmart might have a few sheets of it. It's like a sheet of paper, and you could stick that right on there, you know. I'm gonna stick with this. I'm just gonna hot glue it on with my new hot glue gun. I just got this from Costco. It was on sale for $7. It was like a Black Friday sale. Also, I was thinking is I'd make these little trees. You could glue one of those onto the front, you know. So get your ribbon. We're just gonna hot glue it on there. I'm gonna wrap this one all the way around here. Cut it up here at the overlap. You can get this ribbon. They always have a lot of it at Walmart after Christmas on clearance. This is the first time I've used this glue gun. It was $7 for the glue gun and then 30 of these giant sticks of hot glue. I'm going to go around it right in the center. A little dab of hot glue. And there we go. Bam! And I didn't glue any of it to this, so it's all adjustable if you want it to be. Okay, so now for the ribbon, I'm going to do the lazy way. I cut out 3 strips like this for 3 ribbons. But if you're only making one, well, you're going to make it 3. And then I cut out 2 of these strips and then 1 small strip. This is going to be 1 ribbon. And then I just take the long strip, do like so, fold it over to itself, you know. If you want them bigger, you can do it bigger. I'm just going to do this size, what I like. You can do it bigger. If you know how to tie bows, I could probably look up a video right now, but I just like doing the lazy way. Alright, put a dab of hot glue. Then you want to put these at an angle. I'll show you in a second. 1, 2. That's it so far. Put those at an angle. And then you just take your short piece and you can wrap it around like so. I have the glue gun on low heat, so there you go. There's my little cheating ribbon. Right on the front. There you go. Okay, so there you go. The 3 presents. I got the bows on now. That's it. And in case anybody was wondering, here's how the 3 same sizes came out. The 3 just squares. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to make more videos like this for beginners and some more intermediate stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments, if there's anything else you'd like me to do. And that's it. Have a good one. Hey everybody, on today's episodes of Hot Guys Making Stuff, I'm going to show you guys how to make this these boxes.